March 13th, 2023. I'm in Lapeer, Michigan, District Court. And here's Prosecuting Attorney John Miller's office. I should go in and say hi. They all know me there. They all hang up on me. Here's my court, I guess. Hi. No, I won't. I'm in the hall, though.
I know, but you can't take them to the courtroom. You can take them anywhere else, but not in the courtroom.
Okay. I can stand here, though, right?
No, you can't take anything because you need to go in the courtroom.
Okay.
You can take them anywhere in the halls, anywhere else in the courtroom, you're off limits.
Okay. Okay. I asked Judge Nolan for a permit, and he refused me. Yeah, but I have the right to ask him again. Yeah, no, I understand. I got you. No problem. Oh, they don't want me to. They don't want me to record anything of value. Let's just see if I can. Hey, Mr. Blight.
Yes.
You remember me? From 8 months ago?
Yeah, how you doing?
I'm still here. We're still both here. That's a good thing.
What are you taking pictures of?
Huh?
What are you taking pictures of?
Well, this is my trial.
Okay.
Well, I can. They said because I asked Judge Nolan for a permit and he refused me, but I have a legal right to get to record my trial. So I'm going to ask him again when I'm
Here to see the judge?
Yeah, Judge Nolan. This is the opening day of my trial.
Okay.
The last
But you're taking pictures now. What are you taking pictures of now?
is anything in the hallway. That's legal.
Okay, yeah, because you can't take pictures of what's going on. Okay.
Gotcha.
All right, we're clear, right? How you doing, okay?
No, things have gotten worse. I'm telling you something. The state of Michigan is dead broke. They're in the hock for $10,000 for every man, woman, and child, and the federal government's $37 trillion in debt.
Hey, I gotta check and see if I got things.
Okay, I got a 3 o'clock. Should I go in there and register or something?
I'll let them know you're here.
Okay.
Just do me a favor. Don't take any pictures in there.
No.
Okay, I'll be back. I'll see you.
Okay. Recorder back on. I saw some guy walk by. That was John Miller. Yeah, there he is. John Miller. He hasn't wanted to. He stopped talking to me back in October 2021 when I told him I wouldn't take his deal. And he offered me in June. He said he would make this case disappear if I would move out of the state and don't come back. I wanted justice instead. And besides, I got sabotaged by Secretary of State Judge Nicole Soma. And I got sabotaged by 2 judges, Secretary of State judges, Judge Soma and Judge Brian Longman, who I'm going to call as witnesses in this trial. They helped sabotage this case and they got it to get dragged out for another year. I was due to be in court. Opening day of my trial was supposed to be April 26, 2022. And I've got a vehicle interlock device installed in my car for a 22-year-old crime. And this device, what this Secretary of State's doing is they're sabotaging people and this equipment failed 12 times, and it was supposed to be a 12-month commitment where you don't, the sentence is drive around with this device on your vehicle for 12 months and don't ever test for alcohol one time. And I did that a year and a half ago, or over a year ago. I was due to have this thing taken off on February 22nd, 2021, and this company is called Interlock, and they're the biggest scam in the world, and they're paying off this corrupt judge, Brian Longman. They're Interlock's technical service contractor where I live. I live north of Mount Pleasant, Michigan, and it's Adams Automotive. And they told me that this company is a bunch of crooks, and they cheat people, and they pay off Judge Longman to make phony complaints against you. So I had this thing installed in February 2021, and the thing in June of 2021, John Miller made me this offer. He said he would make this case disappear, and but I had to move out of state. But I had this Interlock device installed, and I couldn't move out of state. I needed special hours, and I wanted to be able to travel. And I asked this Judge Soma for a time-based restriction. And so she said, "Oh no, okay," and she said, "I'll turn it in." And I wrote to her 7 times, begging her, "Where is it? I need it." And she wouldn't respond. So when I came to court here in June of 2021, John Miller made me this offer. I couldn't take it because she refused to give me a time-based restriction, which is no problem. This is for a 23-year-old crime, and I've already tested. I've had this thing on for 26 months now, and I've never tested once for alcohol. But this thing on July 30th, 2020, I went into a store, parked the car, and 15 minutes later the device failed, and took a picture of nobody in the car, and this corrupt judge, Brian Longman, called it failed to rolling retest, which is impossible if no one's in the car. And then he sent me proof that the equipment was failing. He sent me the log showing that it was failing. So instead of, he made me go through this hearing, and he took my license for 4.5 months. And when I had this hearing, and that was in October 2021, I wasn't able to drive my car for 4.5 months. I couldn't work, I couldn't get food, I couldn't get medication. He just took my right to live for 4.5 months. And I had this hearing, and he said, "Well, what happened?" I said, "Their equipment failed." I said, "I had nothing to do with it." And I said, "Look at the evidence. I wasn't even in the car." So he said, "Okay, I'm going to give you your license back." And I thought that was it. And it wasn't my fault. And so then when he gave me my license back, I think it was November 10th, 2021, and I had to go to the Secretary of State in Lapeer County to get my license back. I got my license back. I walked out to my car, and it was dead. And the equipment failed right in the parking lot of the Secretary of State in Lapeer County. So then I couldn't get it started, and I was talking to their technical support people, and the first thing they said, "Well, you got to have it towed. You have to have it towed." And I said, "I'm not having it towed." So they said, "Oh, okay, then you have to disconnect the battery for 20 seconds, and then reconnect it, and that should reset it." And I didn't have any of my tools with me, so I had to walk a mile to get a wrench. And when I came back, I did what she said, and the thing started up. And I drove home, but then it started acting up, and I documented all this. I got a video of the thing dying right in the parking lot of the Secretary of State, and he's screaming at this woman from Interlock. And so I got it home, and I drove for a few days, and then all of a sudden it started giving me problems again. So then I had to call Interlock. I said, "Well, you're going to have it towed again." So they couldn't get me in. And I called on the 23rd of November. They couldn't get me in until the 29th. So I said, the only way I'm going to have my car towed is if you promise to have brand new equipment there because this thing's failing and it's intermittent and I can't take any chances. So I had the car towed on the 29th to this Jeremy's Automotive in I forget what county it is. It was about 30 miles from my house at the time, and all they did was charge up my battery again. And the problem is when I had the when the thing, I can't think. I'm getting scattered with all this stuff. I was up all night recording videos that they need for that the court needs. They need they couldn't use. They wouldn't use my YouTube videos. I couldn't just say, here's my YouTube channels. They made me actually make copies of the videos. So for the last 4 days, I'm in 266 videos, and I had to put them on an external hard drive. And I just got done with them this morning. That's how much that was, and I worked night and day. That was so hard getting that done. But anyway, back to this Judge Longman. And this is Secretary of State. They're helping Lapeer County sabotage my case here. When John Miller in June 2021, he made me that offer and I couldn't take it, and I said, no, I want a jury trial. A month later, mysteriously, my car blew up, and I didn't get it back for 4.5 months. They made it impossible to live. And then this judge, when I had his hearing, I made a video of this hearing. All he says, okay, I'm going to give you your license back. And I said, well, I had nothing to do with it. So he says, okay, I'm going to give you your license back. So I thought that was it for at the time, and that he's not going to punish me for it. So then I was supposed to go to trial on April 26, 2022, right in that courtroom. That's a year ago almost. And 16 days before court, I moved way far away, 3.5 hours from here. And the next day I got up, after moving, I got up and my car was dead. And it had nothing to do with me. I was in contact with Interlock for 16 days, trying to get them to get it started. And because I moved into a brand new house, I had no food in my house for 16 days. And I was so weak on the 15th day, I passed out in my garage and hit the concrete. And I was out for over an hour. And that's attempted murder. This guy, this junk equipment has nothing to do. It has nothing to do with sobriety. It's, can you survive their gauntlet? This junk equipment. This thing failed 12 times. I've had to replace 4 batteries. I've had 2 major failures. The first one was in June 30th of 2020, and then 2021, and then the second one was in 2022 when here I am, ready to go to trial. I was all set in Lapeer County, ready to go, and they blew up my car, and I couldn't make it to court. And I didn't. They miraculously got it fixed on April 26th. That was the day that I was supposed to be here in court. But John Miller knew all about the fact that I was having equipment problems 5 days earlier because I had been in contact with him. I sent him emails. I sent him a text message that Interlock sent me. They couldn't tell me until the last minute that they couldn't get it done, so I could go to court. So I couldn't tell them anything until the last minute. They didn't tell me till the Friday before court that they couldn't get it in any faster. So John Miller knew all about it, and when I didn't show up for court, he lied to Judge Holoka and said that I failed to appear. And then here, my court-appointed attorney, this is another saboteur, was Fred Miller. And this guy was on my case for like 2.5 years. And the day that they swore out a warrant for my arrest, and I had to drive to court and on June 13th, 2022. And they had a warrant out for my arrest. And so I had to come all the way here to have it lifted. And in the meantime, John Miller wasn't around. There was some dickwad prosecutor, smart ass, telling me, well, you failed to appear and you should have gotten a Uber. I live out in the middle of no place, 3.5 hours from this county, and there are no Ubers. So he says, that's your responsibility. And even though I contacted them and said I had car problems, they put this warrant out for my arrest.
Okay, finally got done with that. Now I'd just like to come out and talk to you. Now, when you come in, you won't be able to wear the GoPro.
No, I won't.
You promise me, right?
Yeah.
Okay, good. We respect each other.
No, you know what?
And we're honest with each other.
You know what? I follow the law. These guys don't.
Well, that's perfectly fine.
No, that's
make sure that you and I don't get
No,
miscommunicated.
you know what? You know what's going on in the world right now. It's a battle of life.
I'm not blind.
It's good versus evil.
Unfortunately.
Right. And I'll tell you something else. You know, spring chicken, what they're trying to do to me is they're trying to kill me because the federal government stole our Social Security and Medicare. It's gone. And they've made it impossible for me as a senior citizen to live for the last 7 years.
Well, you're still getting Social Security, aren't you? Aren't you getting a check?
I'm getting a check, but did you see that bank, Silicon Valley Bank, that just crashed?
Yeah.
The second.
Yeah, but that has nothing to do with SSI.
No, you know what they're going to do. Now you're law enforcement. I hope you understand. We're being overthrown. Our country is being overthrown by foreign bankers, world central bankers. Right? Do you know that?
I've heard different rumors. Yeah.
Right.
I don't know the facts, but I've heard rumors.
No, see that. You know what I've done this has been my hobby since they won't let me work. I become an activist, and
And there's nothing wrong with that.
No, you have to be because
As long as you don't cross the line and become a situation where they want to silence you, you can be an activist, no problem.
No,
You just
you know
got to
what?
make other people see what's going on. Okay, I got to take care of this. Okay, anyway, I gotta go back in there.
do I go in there now?
Well, you're in there now, but the only thing is, do me a favor, you can't have that.
Yeah. Well, you know what? I got a new court-appointed assistant.
Who?
Her name is Megan Stammel.
Was she
She's supposed to be here.
blonde?
I don't know her.
I don't know her either.
They just gave her to
Because
me.
you had what, Fred Miller, didn't you?
He sabotaged me. You know that rat? This guy was my lawyer, right?
Mm-hmm.
They had a plan here to arrest me.
What?
Didn't you see them try to arrest me in August? Because
No.
yeah,
I was here. I didn't see him
yeah.
try to arrest you.
Yeah, they did. They were going to try to arrest me if I didn't. I had to prove that I had an interlock device, and I had to go get.
We had to go get your computer.
Right.
You went and got it,
Right,
and I hope you
right.
got it out.
But if I wouldn't have had proof, they would have arrested me.
Well, we don't know if they would have arrested
No, you know,
well, of course, I tell you what, I can't put words in a judge's mouth what they would or wouldn't have done, but you went up, got the computer, you brought it in, you made proof.
But if I wouldn't have done that, and see, here's the deal. What happened was, I know they were trying to set me up because Fred Miller mysteriously wasn't in court that day, right?
He hasn't been in court in a long time.
Yeah,
So
but
it's
no,
just not you.
No, I'll tell you what happened. He wasn't in court, and when I got out of court, I text messaged him. I said they tried to arrest me, and he said I thought they'd do that, and I said you're my witness, and I said because John Miller, I was supposed to be in court on April 26th. I got this interlock device that blew up on April 11th,
Yeah, I've heard
and
all
for
that.
16 days, yeah.
Okay. I gotta go back.
Could you see if that Stemmel, if Megan Stemmel is here? Would she have?
Megan, what's her name?
Megan Stammel, 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 I think. I haven't counted my videos in a long time, so I thought they were around 180 or 90, but I've got over 266 that I gave them that I made, that I'm giving them today, but I've got even more than that. I just didn't have time to get all of them. I only got the most important ones, because what they wouldn't have done is I've got all these videos on Almont Senior YouTube channel, and I thought I would just walk in and give them the addresses to those, and then my new court-appointed attorney, Megan Stammel, told me Thursday, oh no, they need actual video. It's an MP4 that I had to make MP4s, videos. I had to take my YouTube video, then I had to transfer it into an MP4 file, then I had to put that on a hard drive, and that's I made 266, and it took a long time for each one, and it was real slow to do it. That's I spent from Thursday night, spent all day Saturday, all day Sunday, and then this morning trying to get them all done. And so it was a real bitch, but I got what they want. If I would have walked in here with thinking that if I gave them a list that would have been good enough, they would just turn me down. So, And my last two court-appointed attorneys knew I had videos, and I planned on using them, but they never said anything about it. So at the last minute, I had to do all this hard work trying to get exactly what they want. You don't have to be smart to be a lawyer. All you have to do is learn all the forms that you need, learn the vernacular, because they don't want you to act as your own representative. The courts don't want you to act as your own attorney. They want you to use their attorneys. They teach them how to sabotage people, like Fred Miller did and Colleen Starr did. Take a look at my video of both of them. I'm calling both of them as witnesses in my trial because they have evidence crucial to my defense. They're going to have to explain what kind of scam they pulled. And I've got plenty of evidence videos. Fred Miller, when I was here on June 16th, getting a warrant for my arrest tape lifted, Fred Miller was supposed to be here, and he didn't show. And then the court told me. The court told me that Fred Miller has been on the case all along. He didn't show up for court on June 16th, and he said he couldn't make it. And so I showed up here myself, and they tried to arrest me. And then when I got out, I text messaged Fred Miller, and I told him they tried to arrest me. And I said, "You're my witness that John Miller knew all about my car problems, and he had absolutely no reason to swear a warrant out for my arrest." So he got panicked because I was going to call him. I told him, "You're my witness," and he panicked. So all of a sudden, when next time I contacted him, he said, I'm off your case. He says, "I've been fired." And I said, "Who fired you?" And he said, he wouldn't tell me. He said, it's all over, so there's nothing I can do, so good luck. And I kept telling him, "Who fired you?" And then he told me, he says, "It was Judge Holoka." And then I'm asking him about that, and he says, "Oh, it was the state of Michigan." And then when I'm asking about that, he hung up on me. So I have no